don't understand what's wrong with young people today. You're bringing nothing to the table. You don't have your GED. Public education is free. And as I tell everybody, people come over here from other countries, don't even speak English language. And the next thing you know, that person is the valedictorian of your school or first in your class because other people don't want to take advantage of the free opportunities that you have here. Slaves were not allowed to read or write, and they ended up sometimes to their detriment, to their death, learning how to read and write. And here you are with free education and you don't take advantage of it. All you're doing is hanging around with your hoodlum friends. They're not up to anything. You're not up to any good. You're at the Bexar County Jail. I don't know why you get an attitude with me because I'll give you 180 days at the state jail facility to give you a little taste of what it is. Trying to injure your sister who's only 16 over a phone charge that probably neither one of you paid for. Look at you now. You're in an orange uniform, no education, and now you're going to be on paper and you're going to have this felony following you around wherever you go.
All right. First, I'm not excusing the crime he committed. Definitely deserves a punishment if he puts his hands on anybody, yet alone his sister. But when it comes to the job of a judge, I believe that there should be a certain level of balance. Um, the first thing that stood out to me about this judge is one of the first things that came out of her mouth is she don't understand what's going on with young people these days. That right there, in my mind, disqualifies her to be judging anybody. Um, um, on top of that, she's black, just like this kid is. So that tells me she's not understanding what the youth of her community is going through. So why is she in a position to be judging them? Yet she continues to um, to go about judging. The next thing that came out is she mentioned people coming from other countries to take advantage of the educational system here and how they do better and all this type of stuff. And it's like their struggle and the struggle of the youth in this country is different, especially for black kids. Um, that's clear. Anybody that cares about anything knows that they have a different, unique struggle compared to every other race in this country or outside of this country. Um, it's not a doubt in my mind. I truly believe she knows that, but yet she's still judging this person. And at this point, can you really call it judging this person, or is it she's assassinating his character? Um, Not that his character is looking very well right now, but at the same time, you gotta do things the right way, man. This is a kid. At the end of the day, he may be an adult in terms of age is concerned, but clearly mentally he's still a kid, and and to ignore the issues that he has gone through throughout his life to create the person he has become is a complete dismissal of the problem of this country. Um, you're supposed to be trying to rehabilitate them if they are rehabilitatable, right? Um, Otherwise, you just send him in a cycle where he just gets worse and worse over time. Today he beat up his sister, tomorrow he might kill somebody. Nothing you're saying in this situation affects him at all because you're telling him you don't give a damn about what he's been through to get to this point. And so I think showing that type of or that level of understanding is important when it comes to dishing out consequences for people's actions. They have to understand that you understand their circumstances and that their behavior is not tolerated, and there are better ways for them to go about their situations. Another thing that stood out to me is she mentioned slaves and how they were not allowed to read and write and sometimes died trying. That you can't compare that to this situation because, again, their struggles were different. They were fighting to learn what was necessary to defend themselves in a country. All the information they needed to learn how to defend themselves in that system was wrapped up in that educational system. They needed to risk their lives to try to learn and read because the life of their people, the life of their community depended on it. This kid is growing up in a situation where learning how to read and write is probably the least thing to worry about. You know he didn't grow up in a healthy household. That is evident. Yet you fail to mention that and show that you understand that he's been through some things to lead up to this point, right? Another thing that stood out is she started judging him about how she's hanging around hoodlum friends, and I mean, this is just a clip, right? I don't know what all details she has on him. I mean, maybe he told her that all he does is hang around hoodlum friends, but I doubt it. And it's like, how you just gonna make assumptions on what this guy got going on? At this point, you're just attacking his character instead of doing your job. Again, that's not good if you're trying to rehabilitate somebody. That's basically you telling him you don't give a damn about him, and you're gonna run him through that system, destroy his life, or use what he done did to himself to destroy his life, to justify you destroying his life. I done had my experiences with the court system, and I know firsthand how corrupt they are. I know firsthand that these people don't care about justice, and that needs to change. People need to, if not for the adults of today, we need to be fighting for the children of tomorrow, right? This system is clearly broken. It's clearly corrupted. And until we as an adults are willing to stand up for these children, it's not going to change.